Um, this is just a real open and transparent moment to anyone that's dealing with an abusive relationship and you're not really sure what to do. I found myself being in one of those in my 20s. Started like in my late teens, around 19-ish, going into my 20s. I decided to stay with this person after noticing their trauma. I believe I felt as if I could help them, because they weren't a bad person per se. They were acting out in ways that I felt that I could help them, and in me doing that, I damaged myself, and I didn't know how to save myself after I allowed all of that trauma to happen. So I was stuck in that traumatic experience which seemed to me like forever. But it did take maybe a lot of years out of my life, because after I left the relationship, I still had to nurture myself. I still had to heal myself to a point to where I can move forward in love. Because most of the times when you are dealing with an individual that have harmed you mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, you're broken, and you have to put yourself back together. So imagine you breaking a dish in your kitchen and you having to put the pieces back together before your mom gets home to see that you shattered her glass or her mug or whatever the piece of dish is. So just imagine that being your heart, imagine that being your face, imagine that being your body, imagine that being your spirit. You're trying to put all that back together piece by piece. Mentally, you're trying to find what parts goes back to your mental, what parts goes to your physical, what part goes to your spiritual. You're trying to figure out who you are, because you've been splattered and cracked and broken all over the place. So I don't feel that many people who get into these relationships and like, yay, I'm a stay with this person so they can beat on me and harm me. No, you generally have a heart space for that person. You generally love them, and you generally want the best for them, because you see the goodness in them. But what you're also doing is putting them before you, and you're trying to save them when only God can save them. So I'm saying this message to say, when you're noticing those first signs, walk away. When you're noticing that pitch in their voice is different, walk away. If you're noticing that they're now becoming extreme addicted to alcohol, to sex, to drugs, walk away. If you're noticing that it's always a new person around, they're hiding stuff from you, and you're not sure what's going on, walk away. If you're noticing that they're not telling the truth to their friends, they're not telling the truth to their family, they always have something to hide, and then when you're asking questions, it's always making it seem like you're being too invasive, walk away. I put myself in a lot of situations with one individual that caused me a lot, and it's hard sometimes to open your mouth to speak about certain things. It's hard sometimes to even forgive yourself. So I'm asking you today to forgive yourself for that. Forgive yourself for loving someone more than you loved yourself. Forgive yourself for not knowing how to love yourself. Forgive yourself for not pouring and letting God love on you and leading you the right direction. Forgive yourself for staying too long. Forgive yourself for pouring love into someone that you know needed you, but we should have did it from afar. It's okay to love someone from afar. It's okay to pray for someone's salvation. It's okay to pray that they get a hold of their own addictions, because once you put yourself into their trauma, you're taking on their trauma, and it becomes very traumatic for the both of you. So it's hard to love on another person when they're in trauma. So you have to heal yourself before you can actually be in a union with someone. You can't walk into that relationship and then what if you create babies and now you're married with this? What if I was to create babies and I got married to this person? Now I'm dealing with all of that trauma on a daily by myself, because I didn't want to tell my mom, I didn't want to tell my parents. And all I was doing was protecting the other person, but who was protecting me? Because at that time, I wasn't really a prayer warrior like I am now. I was more of a warrior. Like, I worried about everything, and I cried a lot. But now, I know the signs, and I know what I'm fighting up against. So whenever I am in a dating scenario, God shows me the person. I ask God to show me the person before I move forward. I ask God to help me pray for this person's salvation, whatever they might be struggling with, because I can't. I'm no longer in an emotional space where I can take on anybody's trauma. Like, no, I don't want to. Like, and you shouldn't want to either. Like, and this for man or female. You shouldn't want to take on anybody else's baggage. God doesn't ask us to take on anybody else's burdens. That's why he says give it to him. I don't want it. Give it to God. And you shouldn't want to carry it either. So, if you're finding yourself in a situation where you're afraid to speak up, you feel like you're walking on eggshells, walk away. Because if you can't be 100% with the person that you're dealing with, why are we dealing with them? Like, I'm finding it very awkward for me to be around people and I can't be myself. If I can't speak up and I feel like you're bullying me, I'm just going to shut down. Like, I'm good. And that scenario could be in friendships, relationships, family. I'm good. I'm good. You can have all of that. And then I want you also to think about, if you are in this situation, friends, family, lover, whatever if you're feeling abused, I want you to also consider what's going on around that person. Are they being motivated to do better in their life? Do they have negative influences? Excuse me. Do they have a background of a traumatic trauma with their own parents, with their own life? And then you can start to pray for them from there. And I want you to also check your circle of friends at this point of time in your life. Like, I remember during my trials and tribulations, and it's crazy how I didn't pray for myself and my salvation, but I was around here stepping in for other people who were being abused, mentally, physically, or emotionally. And I don't really remember, no, we're not going to go down that route. But God looked out for me, and that's all that matters. But I know it's hard for people who are in this situation, and there's people who know about it, and it seems as though no one cares. There's people that know about it, but they make fun of you. There's people that know about it, but they big up your abuser. And I don't condone any of that. If you are abusive to a woman, or if you're abusive to a man, if you are the abuser, man or woman, shame on you. If you're doing this in front of kids, in front of family, in front of friends, shame on you. If you are a family member or a friend of a victim or someone who is being the abuser, shame on you if you know about it. Because that's your moment to speak up. Like I said originally, I didn't speak up. No, I did speak up for myself, which is the reason why I kept getting into fights, because I just wasn't going to continue to allow things to happen to me. But there comes a point of time when God places a man or another woman in your life to step up. And I had to do a lot of forgiving. Because a lot of people didn't know, and some people knew. And I'll never blame a victim for anything that they've been through. I'm not going to say but. So, with that being stated, it took me a while to forgive myself from not walking away. It took me a while to forgive myself. But it took me even longer, and it's still taking me a little longer to forgive those who heard my cries, those who heard me yelling out for help, those who saw me being abused. It's taken me a while to forgive them. It's taken me a while to let that go. Because all of these stories that come out now and about friends killing friends, or friends not knowing what to do in scenarios, I think about that and I could be dead right now. Because no one came when they heard my cries. No one came when I was yelling for my life. No one came when I was struggling. So that's how I know God's real, y'all. Because God heard me. God heard my cries. And God was tired. Like God disconnected me so much from that relationship. And I'm thankful every day that I have no ties to it. Was I able to say that a few years ago? Nope. Am I able to say it now? For sure, with joy and gladness. Because nothing good come out of an abusive relationship, y'all. Nothing good comes out of it. So I don't encourage it. If you're noticing that somebody's being angry towards you, suggest therapy for them. Suggest therapy for yourself. Suggest therapy as a couple. Because we have to address it. And the only thing that I regret, being 100% honest, is that I didn't say anything. Me not speaking up kept a secret in the closet. Me not speaking up left me in my trauma for years. Me not speaking up might have, I don't know. Like I don't want to say it because I just don't know. But what if I would have spoke up? You know, when you speak up, it stops it. So I hope that I was the last person. But you know that story when they say, or that message that we always hear, that if you don't heal it, you become it. And I never wanted to be an abusive to anybody. But maybe I have been. Not physically, at least. I know for sure. I've never put my hands on nobody because they weren't, obeying me. But I do feel like my words are harsh. My words have been harsh. And God's been working on my language and working on my words. But my heart posture has always been the same. So I'm now thinking about it like, yeah, I might have said some real evil things to this person or to people that have been around me. And I am genuinely, sincerely apologize. And I have repented for my sins. I've given all of my sins to God, things that I might have done to other people since birth. So daily I'll ask God to, forgive me for any sins that I might have committed yesterday. And then I'll say daily, God, can you also forgive me for anything that I might have done to my sister or brother since my time of creation? That covers all of them. That covers all sins. So as I sit here and reflect on today and where I was, I'm grateful for where I am. And I'm happy that I was able to walk away from something that was going to keep me stuck forever. I don't really hold on to past things anymore because that's the past. All it's going to do is hinder me from moving forward. But I wanted to make this video to let you know, sister girl or brother boy, brother man, sister woman, you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. Through the fire, through the storm, you're going to make it through. And God got you the whole way. And if you don't believe in God, I don't know. Believe in self. Believe in that the fact that you matter. And the things you're going through is a test for your testimony, because this world needs to heal. No more lying, no more scheming, no more hate, no more jealousy, no more envy, and especially in a relationship with your partner. If you're my partner, I need you to be my better half for real. Like, love on me in ways that I know for sure is genuine. You putting your hands on me, you wishing bad upon me, that's not love. You never complimenting me, but always in another woman's face, that's not love. You consistently telling me about myself, about how I'm not this and how I'm not that, and comparing me to other women, that's not love. You constantly making me act out of character. And I know some people may say, well, you can't make someone react out of character. Well, you putting me in situations. You are intentionally putting me in situations to where to where I'm triggered. Don't do that to people. Do not put people in situations to where they are triggered. Don't intentionally try to harm someone's heart, mind, body, and soul just because you're not happy. Misery loves company, and I don't want to sit at your table. I want to enjoy my happiness, even if that's alone. And I think for me, the worst part of it all is I know what it was for me now. It was nothing but spiritual warfare, and to see how I was going to defeat that enemy. And I did that, y'all. I did that. But I'm sad because I had to do that. But I know that my daughter would never face that ever. I know that she would never face it. And I want to make sure that the children I create, that spirit, that narcissist, that Jezebel, that Ahab, that Levitican spirit is dead up in my vessel. So I need to make sure that whoever I create or procreate with is dead up in theirs too. Because what's the point of me doing all this work if my partner, he ain't did no work, and he's still living in the energy, or that energy still lives within his vessel, that spirit still dwells. We gotta kill that. We gotta puggle it up from the root. So y'all, spiritual warfare is real, and you gotta know your family's story to know what you're battling against. Because for you, it might be an addiction or something else. For me, it's emotional trauma and heartbreak that I had to fight up out of. Flex mode, because Shouty did that. And she's so proud of herself. I'm very aware of me being tapped in inner healing and being in tune with my heart, mind, body, and soul. So I want you guys to stay committed to your journey. Stay committed to your healing. Let God love on you. You gonna be all right, because God got you, and this is a part of your story for your glory. But don't get stuck in that trauma. Heal yourself. And if you need some help, please reach out to me at freeyourjourney@gmail.com. You can DM me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. You can write a comment there, and I'll reach out to you. Don't forget to join my Facebook group. It's called Free Your Journey. Join me there so we can talk a little bit more, and we have a chat going on in there so we can talk every day. I hope you guys have a great day. Stay true to you and remind yourself that you are amazing, you are loving, you are kind, and you're made for a very, very, very beautiful reason. Don't forget to shine on them.